Phoenix Rising by Michael Anastas. By some odd coincidence, Merlin decided to pull over 1 block away from the remnants of Saffron City Gym. He stepped out of the driver's seat and met Lieutenant Surge on the side of the road, where they discussed something that could have only been the weaponry Surge had supplied. While they were talking, Ash pulled me aside. "I know what you're worried about," I said. "And you're right. Merlin didn't just stop here for no reason." Ash didn't seem surprised that I knew his thoughts. "It doesn't make sense. If anything, he should want me to forget what happened to me." "Maybe so, but I'm sure he doesn't want you to forget what happened as well." "Huh? You died in that battle, and you shouldn't let it get to you. But at the same time, you should remember what could happen. This isn't just another one of those corny adventures you had when you were just a kid. This is for real. This is for life." Pikachu climbed down the steps of the van and walked up beside Ash. He'd overheard the last part of what I'd said and tugged at Ash's pants. "Pika Pika! Pikachu Pika! Kachu Pika!" Ash looked down at Pikachu, who gave a little nod of his head. He turned his back on me and sighed deeply. "What? I can't speak Pekinese. What did he say?" Ash turned back towards me. "He said that Merlin only took me close to the gym. I have to go the rest of the way myself. So basically, it means you have to relive the memory yourself." Ash pulled his cap down over his eyes. "Something like that." He turned around and walked away with Pikachu following behind him, splashing through the deep puddles which covered the empty streets of Saffron. Faith walked up beside me and watched them disappear into the fog. "You think we should go after them?" she asked. "Keep an eye on them, at least?" I closed my eyes and bowed my head. "Probably. Just to keep an eye on him." Ash found the Saffron City Gym blocked off from the world by barbed wire. Regardless of what could have happened to him, Ash kicked at the fence and pushed it down under his weight. Pikachu climbed up onto Ash's shoulder as he crossed the fallen fence, as he would have otherwise been skewered. The grass had once been nicely cut, and the walkway always had a polished shine at all times. Now, the weeds had taken over, rising up amongst the marble statues, and the walkway had been reduced to gravel. As he approached the doors, he noticed the huge crater amongst the weeds. Of course, he had not lived to see what had happened, but he could have only guessed at what powerful force had died there. "Boy, this takes me back," said Ash with a sigh. Pikachu walked behind him, completely confused, as, by Ash's orders, he had not been there for the battle. "Pika? Pikachu!" "Yeah, I know." Ash bowed his head. "I don't know if I did the right thing, or if I killed myself in doing so." "Pika!" "So? Pika! Pikachu Pika!" "I know that you're not even evolved, but what does that have to do with it? Doesn't the fact that Team Rocket has been trying to capture you for 5 years mean anything?" Ash lifted Pikachu off the ground. "You're special, Pikachu. Even Merlin himself said he'd never seen anything like you." Pikachu started sweating. "Katsu?" "Really? He and Professor Oak had a 2-hour debate over the phone about you." Pikachu went limp in Ash's arms. "Pika," he mumbled in sorrow. "Pika Pika." "Why would I think that?" "Pikachu." "No, why would I?" Faith and I watched from afar, only able to see their outlines in the pouring rain. Faith cupped one of her paws to her ear and strained to hear. Though we had no idea as to what he was saying, we at least knew he was all right. "You think it's safe to leave him alone?" asked Faith. "If he tries anything stupid, Pikachu can take care of him anyway." "Pikachu's been Ash's friend for 5 years," I reminded her. He'll stand by his trainer, just like all good Pokemon do. Faith shot a harsh glare in my direction. Is that another one of your double-meaning phrases? If you want it to be, yes. Faith shrugged off my comment and stared forward, but in that little time, we had lost complete sight of Ash. And at the same time, Ash saw Gary Oak standing in front of him, dressed in a black trench coat and matching slacks. It could have only been a hallucination, but it seemed so real to Ash's mind, and when he looked behind him, he noticed that Pikachu had run away. "Don't ignore me," said Gary. "I'm as real as you are, and your Pikachu knows what I'm here for." "Gary? What?" "I owe you something. I was going to give it to you after the match we had scheduled last week, but since you died beforehand, this lost all of its value to me." He took a Pokeball out of his pocket, the top half being red as always, but the white half had been painted black. "I never got a chance to use this very well. It was a present from my friend Lom. We never truly understood each other, but he still gave me this as a memento. So, from Lom to me, I would like to give this to you for the same reason." "Really?" "Ash, I know we've been bitter rivals, but it's clear that you were always the better of the two of us. The fact that you rose from your grave is evidence enough. You are the best to ever come out of Pallet Town. Now, with all due respect, I have things to do, so if you would so kindly accept my present to you, we could both go our separate ways. You are, after all, one of the great Phoenix trainers, and I would imagine you have a busy schedule right now." "Well, I guess so." Gary walked up and placed the Pokeball in Ash's hand. "Here, it's yours now." "Well, I'm honored, but what is it Do you want my present or not?" Faith and I searched through the dense fog of the rain for Ash's outline. Finally, Faith dared to call out his name, and Pikachu came running into her arms. "Pikachu," she said with a smile. "Where's Ash?" "Pika, Pika! Pikachu, Pikachu!" "What? Pika!" "Gary? Who's Gary?" When Faith had said the name, I could feel my pulse pounding against my arms. Ash's bitter rival for 5 years. Pikachu jumped down from Faith's arms and led us to him. "I still don't get it," Ash shouted. "Why are you so anxious to get rid of this?" Gary pushed the Pokeball back into Ash's hands. "Trust me," he said calmly. "This is the least I can do to make up for everything. You're a Phoenix trainer, and I respect you because of that. But if Merlin ever establishes his Royal Leagues, you're going to need all the Pokemon you can get." He released his hold on the ball. "Well, I'm late as it is. Take care." He ran off and disappeared into the night. That was when we found him. "Ash! What happened?" shouted Faith as she ran up. "Gary brought me a present," muttered Ash, holding up the Pokeball. "Well, that was nice of him," said Faith with a smile. "What is it?" Ash threw the Pokeball off into the clearing, and the force of the blast sent us all flying into the wall. Faith got up first and pulled the rest of us to our feet. "What the hell was that?" I asked, completely scared out of my nerves. "Electrode buildup," said Ash. "Have an electrode self-destruct while in the Pokeball, and the force remains bottled up inside the Pokeball until it's released." I stumbled to my feet and adjusted my glasses. Phoenix Classes Chapter 56. I wish I'd remembered. "Pika!" "Just one question," said Faith. "How did you know that's what it was?" Ash clenched his fists. "Gary said he respects me for being a Phoenix trainer, when in truth, he despises the Phoenix and everything it stands for." He turned his back to us and stared down at his fist. "When I find whoever that Lom kid is, I'll—" "Lom?" I blurted out. You mean just plain old LOM or initialized? Huh?